Welcome to the VidConcierge Show, the podcast that helps health professionals master their delivery, speak with clarity, and show up on camera like the trusted expert they are. In each episode, you'll learn practical techniques and expert insights to elevate how you communicate on video so your message lands, your presence connects, and more people see you as the trusted authority in your field. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back. It's Dr. Walter Salubro here. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the power of pausing. And we're going to build upon some of the things we talked about in the previous episode, which was about pacing yourself. Let's be honest. I know I speak for myself here that I sometimes ramble on video and I don't even realize it. And I also notice this with some of my VidConcierge clients, or sometimes I notice this when I audit other health professionals' YouTube channel. You know that you know your material. You're smart, you're passionate, you know your topic inside and out. But when the camera turns on, it's so easy to slip into long-winded explanations, trying to say everything that you possibly know about a certain topic. Oftentimes you find yourself repeating yourself and you keep talking because sometimes it feels like the silence just feels unbearable or uncomfortable. But the reality is, if you want to sound like a trusted expert on camera, you need to know how and when to pause. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to do this. We're going to talk about what causes rambling, how pausing builds trust, and 3 simple techniques that you can use today to start using pauses in your videos without ever feeling awkward. And that was the biggest thing I had to learn and break through myself in my videos. When I realized I was a fast speaker on video, remember on video, the pace will pick up faster than your normal sounding pace in a live conversation. And I tried to slow things down, I felt awkward. Then when I tried to add pauses, I felt awkward. But the truth is, the audience, the viewer, does not even pick up that awkward feeling. So that's what makes this useful, because you can make this change. You can change this. By the end of this episode, you will know how to speak with more presence, more clarity, and far more control simply by mastering the power of the pause. Now, why does rambling happen, and how does it hurt your message? I see this a lot with health professionals on video. They start strong, and halfway through the video, they're still talking through their first point. The sentences are long, there's no break, and they feel like they're explaining everything, or they have to explain everything, but the viewer just gets overwhelmed, or worse, bored, or even worse, click off your video. A good way to kill your YouTube channel, and you don't want that. So rambling usually happens because of 1 or 2 things. Number 1, you're not sure of when the sentence ends or should end. Or number 2, you're not sure if what you said is enough. And that's probably my big mistake, is sometimes I feel that what I said was not enough, so I have to continue rambling and continue explaining to get the point across. And oftentimes I'll add words or more examples for more clarification, hoping that the point will actually stick to the viewer. But instead what happens is you actually dilute the message. You actually lose the actual viewer. And that's the worst thing that can happen for any growth on your channel. And this happens a lot when you do know your topic very well, but you haven't decided ahead of time when the sentence or the section should stop. And that is key. That's how you prevent this from happening. And it's not because you don't know your stuff. It's actually quite the opposite. You know so much that it's hard for you to decide when to pause. You have so much information that you don't know when you should stop talking or when you should stop giving all the information. But without pauses, your message has no rhythm, no punch, and the viewer begins to tune out because there's no space for them to absorb anything that you just said. So how do we fix this? Well, we'll start with technique number 1, the precision pause. And I love this technique, and I started using this with great success. And I know it can do the same for you. You use intentional pauses to emphasize a key phrase or insight. Not every line needs to be followed by a pause, but when you say something meaningful, like a truth bomb or a turning point, pause briefly right afterwards. It gives your viewer a second to absorb what you've said. And the silence signals, you know what, that point was important. It also lets your authority come through without over-explaining things. So here's an example. So I'll do a short little script here to show you how this works. Okay, so quote, if you've been told your low back pain is normal for your age, think about that for a moment. Pain is not normal, and losing function isn't either. So did you feel the pause in there when I did that? After think about this for a moment? That's an example, okay? Now, technique number 2 is the curiosity gap pause. If you ask a question or set up an open loop, pause before answering it. This builds anticipation, even a moment of suspense. Viewers will lean in because they want to know what's coming next. And in a subtle way, you're actually holding their attention especially at key moments of your video, like in transitions or when there's a shift in the topic that you're talking about. So here's an example. So again, I'll show you another little script to exemplify this. So quote, "So what's the one sitting habit that keeps making your disc pain worse, even if you've been stretching or doing therapy?" I'll show you in a second, but first let me explain why this matters. Again, did you feel that short pause in there? That's exactly how the curiosity gap pause works, okay? Now, technique number 3, the nervous system reset. Pausing is not just for the viewer, it's also for you, the speaker, the presenter on camera. When you start to feel rushed or anxious or even lost in a long sentence, a pause will reset the button. It calms your nervous system and it gives your brain time to regroup. And I find this is a very useful technique. And the truth is the viewer won't even notice that you're doing this. On camera, a 2-second pause can feel like forever to you when you're recording your video, but it doesn't feel that way to the viewer. In fact, it feels like you're well composed and in control. So here's an example. Let's say I'm explaining disc anatomy and suddenly I'm jumbling my words. So instead of powering through, I stop. Now, this is not a script, it's a scenario. So let's say that you're filming something about lumbar discs and disc injuries, and you're explaining disc anatomy, and then suddenly your words begin to jumble. So instead of powering through that, just stop, take a breath, and then say, quote, "Let me explain this another way." Okay, so that nervous system reset allows you to regroup yourself, especially when you feel like you're rambling on. It's like a recovery in a very calm and clear way, and it makes you sound even more professional and appear very calm, in control, and confident on your video. So the reality is that you don't need to add anything new to your messaging to sound more confident on camera. You just need to say less with more space and just add more pauses. The pause is the most underused tool in on-camera delivery that I've ever seen. And it's also one of the most powerful. It calms your mind, it sharpens your message, and it tells the viewer, I'm in control of what I'm saying. You can trust me. So go ahead and practice using the pause. Let the pause do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, now it's time for the action step. As always, in each episode, I will give you some things to do, or maybe one action step to do to practice the technique you just learned. I want you to be the best possible presenter on video so your message is delivered with impact to your audience and you can make a difference to the world. Without practicing these techniques, that's not going to happen. So here's your action step for today. Choose one sentence in your next video script that delivers a key insight or key point. Now practice saying it out loud and then pause for 1 full second before continuing. Let the silence do the work. Let that power of the pause do the work. Go ahead and watch that, play it back, and then you'll see how it's going to add a lot of weight, clarity, and authority to how you delivered that message, all without saying a word during that little pause. That's a powerful action step. Go ahead and do that and watch how your videos will be transformed. Okay, so what's coming up in the next episode? We're going to talk about mastering vocal tone and how to sound like an expert and not a robot. If you ever listen back to one of your videos and say, oh my gosh, I sound so flat or monotone, then you need to tune in to the next episode. Thanks again for listening, as always, and I'll see you in the next episode. That's it for today's episode of the VidConcierge show. Always remember, how you show up on camera shapes how people see you. So keep practicing, keep showing up, and keep leaning into the role as the trusted expert. If you got value from this episode, take a moment to rate it, review it, and subscribe. It really helps the show grow. And if you want a free audit of your YouTube channel, that's by me, head over to www.valtoriamedia.com/audit. Your personalized channel audit will show you what's working on your channel, what's missing, and what to fix next, so you get more visibility and authority with your videos. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time on the VidConcierge show.